Thomas was alone. Wow, a weird first thought to have.
Every so often, something special stands out within the world of gaming. An industry bogged down by a need not just to make some money, but to make all the money they possibly can. This halts creativity, risk-taking, and we end up with a constant stream of uninspired, boring clones. An industry seemingly obsessed with microtransactions, cutting a game up and selling it piece by piece while having total disregard to their customer base. The big companies have burned their fans so many times now that many gamers are turning to the indie market for their fix of quality, cheap and often inspiring games. This is where Thomas Was Alone came to life.
Okay, interesting. Thomas couldn't fall past this block. Think, damn it, think. What if there was some kind of inverted fall? Some way to... what's the word? Jump.
Before I get into the nitty-gritty of the review, I have to say that I think this is one of the best games I've ever played, and it makes me proud to be a gamer. Thomas Was Alone is special. There is no question. Go out and buy this. Thomas Was Alone is a mix of platforming and puzzle solving. Throughout the game you control simple polygon shapes, each with a name and a personality. These shapes are out of control AI who have become self-aware. Thomas, a small red rectangle, is intent on finding his purpose, and along the way he'll meet many other companions who can assist him traversing the world, a computer system.
Staircases were a bit of a fixture here. Claire wondered why the world made it so difficult.
Later in the game, Thomas will learn about the Fountain of Wisdom, which is basically the link to the internet, and after connecting to it for 12 seconds learns about the world outside. He makes the decision to become an architect and modify the world they're in so they can power other AIs to be able to do exactly the same.
Thomas looked at the glowing beam. That list he'd been writing seemed pretty petty now. This was all knowledge. All of it. Right in front of him. He was sorry Sarah couldn't step into it too. He could tell she felt the same way. From the shouting. And the screaming. Thomas was connected to the internet for 12 seconds. And he had seen everything. He'd seen the cat who couldn't spell, he'd heard of the arrow through the knee. He felt there was probably a thing called cake, but that was a lie.
Gameplay is simple. Each shape has their own unique ability, and using these players must guide the AI to exits to complete levels. The different abilities of the shapes can overcome all obstacles, and while there aren't any fiendishly difficult levels, some will force you to really think about the solution. There are 10 levels with 10 chapters in each. Each level introduces a new character with new abilities such as the double jumping Sarah or the bouncy Laura. Each character enriches the game as they were introduced, their stories and personalities explained and expressed by a narrator. None of the shapes speak, so the story and everything that happens is explained by a narrator voiced by Danny Wallace, who does an incredible job. His performance in Thomas Was Alone saw him win a BAFTA Game Award.
Chris stared at Thomas with pure hatred. He seemed so very happy at their situation. Friends together, a brave fellowship of quadrilaterals on a quest for greatness. That would be fine. But it was all the obvious observation that Thomas was doing which grated. Every time they saw something vaguely new, Chris would hear a satisfied little from the vaulting idiot. He hoped the next portal would split them up, if only for a few levels.
His delivery is heartfelt yet amusing, giving detailed personalities to these shapes and making you care for them in ways you would never have thought possible. Visually, the game looks simple with some nice uses of lighting to create interesting shadows. Some levels stand out more than others with some great use of rain and colours, But this is not a game where the look of it matters at all. Thomas Was Alone is an emotional game, one about friendship and loss, about the greater good and freedom to be anything you want to be. It is a compelling play helped by its stunning soundtrack, one of the best I've heard in years. From the opening titles to the end credits, I was mesmerized by what I was hearing, and it's added so much depth to an already fulfilling game. If I can find any faults within the game, it's that it's just a little bit too short and a bit too easy at times. However, this is a masterpiece of gaming and something that we, as gamers, should feel proud of. It puts most AAA titles to shame with its interesting characters and motivations.